Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a mini-ish series, perhaps, of Foxman Plays Project Highrise. I can't really say to the longevity of this. I don't have a ton of experience with this game thus far. I do have 2-3 hours into it, though, and I've liked what I played thus far. But let me explain what it is first before we get into it. Project Highrise is developed by Soma Sim. And it is a build and manage a modern-day skyscraper type of building. So we get to play, the role where we wear many hats, right? We're an architect and designer, developer slash manager, so on and so forth. So Project Highrise is a simulation game currently being developed by Soma Sim. I'm reading this from their website, by the way, just because they put it into better words than I can. So it's a vertical ecosystem of concrete, steel, and glass. A modern skyscraper is an intricate machine of interlocking systems which depend on each other in their daily function. Tenants will expect everything to just work, Steve Jobs, and to have all of their needs met under one roof. It's your job to keep the machine running smoothly and efficiently. Keep your ear to the ground, but your eye to the future. So a multifaceted simulation of modern tower. As the architect, you'll have to plan carefully as your building grows from bare ground to spire in the sky. Will you make it a magnet for entertainment, teeming with tourists raving about their posh hotel rooms? Will you construct world-famous corporate HQs where business titans sit down to power lunches at the best restaurants in town? Or will you build luxury condos for the privileged elite who make their homes way up above it all, pampered by the best shops and exclusive boutiques? There are many paths to fame. It's up to you to choose yours. So that's kind of, the high level of it. I think it does a good job of explaining it. Basically, we're building this high rise, and we get to kind of determine what goes into it. But each shop, each retail, each condo, each business office, so on and so forth, they have certain needs that need to be met, and it's our job to make sure all of the individual spaces in this high rise play nice together. So it's an interesting simulation, and I've kind of been meaning to do something on it for a little while now. After streaming it, I've kind of put it off, but I thought, hey, let's just do it. Let's get going on this. And it's kind of fun, too, because you get to name the shops whatever you want. Like, there are default names, but you can customize names. And same thing with the various tenants. So we can really make it personal. So, that said, hey, if you want a spot in the game, just let me know in the comments below. But anyways, this first episode is mostly going to be tutorials. We'll probably get started on a high rise after that. But I want to go through the tutorials because I actually think they do a really good job of explaining things in a nice structured manner. So let's just hop into it. Also, it does apparently have mod support. I don't have any mods. That's probably something I'm going to look into for future high rises, but at least for now, for the starting one, I want to keep it pretty much vanilla. But if you do know of any cool mods for the game, let me know. So anyways, let's jump into the tutorial. So you can see it's divided into 5 different lessons, if you will. We've got the construction, tenants, prestige, disrepair, and user interface. So you'll see what all of these are. First, we'll start out with construction, which is learning about building floors, adding utilities, and renting space. Dun, 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 dun. It's loading up. Pleasant music. Okay, so here we go. There's going to be a bit more reading, I guess, in this episode just because of the tutorials, but don't worry if you don't like reading and stuff. That's not part of the long-term game for the most part. There's not some kind of crazy story to it, although it's the kind of game where you can make the story in your head as events and things happen, But, hello, you must be the new architect. Welcome. What's that? You say this is your first time on a construction site? It's actually not true. I mean, my job, I work on construction sites a lot of the time. Well, I'm the construction supervisor around here. I'll get you up to speed in no time, boss. That's right, you know your place. Let me start by showing you around the site. Continue. So, first you need to know how to get around the site. You can move your view by holding down the left mouse button and dragging the view around. There you go. Very good. You can also need to zoom in details. So we've got that. And Q and E also zoom in. Oftentimes, games Q&E will be like a rotate or something, but in here they zoom if you don't have a scroll wheel or you just don't like using a scroll wheel. Ready to build, we have some empty space on the upper floor. Let's build a new office there so we can get some more rent money. Yeah, baby. And it is a business, right? We build this, but we need to run it. We need to worry about making money and reinvesting that in the building. And you'll see that later when we get to the prestige lesson in the tutorial. Okay. So, first we'll need a new empty office space. Click on the office button at the bottom of the screen. Boom. So here we go. And then basically, the only complaint I'll get it out of the way soon. After playing this for a few hours, is I kind of wish some of the buttons maybe were a little more color coded. The interface isn't hugely complicated, but it's just like it's nice having the different shapes and also maybe having different colors. Like, this office space could be a nice light blue or something like that. Food could be, I don't know, red or you get what I'm saying. But anyways, that's maybe my only criticism I have thus far. So, allocate space for small office. Build cost is free. Valid placement above ground floor, on ground floor. So you can actually see this kind of, the brown here is the dirt on the ground. There's some piping, which carries utilities into the building. So basically saying, well, we can't have it in the basement. It has to be on the ground floor or above. So we'll select this, and we're going to place it. Right-click to exit placement mode. Good shit. Do you see the notification icon on the office? It means you have a vacancy, and we should find a tenant to fill it. So we'll click on it. Few different types of tenants could occupy the small space. Let's pick insurance agent, because they're the least demanding and the most annoying. Yeah, the thing about that clear coat, they apply that at the factory. I know that's not insurance agents, but it just made me think of Fargo. I'm sorry. Anyway, so you can see these are the other office types that are currently not available, but they will be shortly. So we're going to click on insurance office. And then what we get is, we get to pick from a few different available. So you can see they offer different amounts of rent. In this case, they're all pretty close, but, Crosby and Ward Limited, Riviera Insurance, and Piskowski Insurance. So pays 110. These guys are 120, and these are 110. But when we hover over each one, we can see, what is the build cost to actually build their office. So that's 100. And you can also see below their needs. Like, they gotta have it. They gotta have an electrical line. That's, reasonable. And then below that, we have expects copy services. So it's not like they won't move in and do business if we don't have a copy service. But over time, they will get mad. And that's like a mood thing you can see. So something to keep an eye on is like, we don't just have to build this, but there's tertiary, secondary services in the building that we need to build that aren't, businesses of their own, but they're used by the businesses. So this is like the most basic form of seeing how these spaces are connected to other spaces in this building. They kind of begin to rely on each other. So we'll see more of that as we go. But anyways, you can see it's all the same expectations from all three and all the same build costs. So you know what? I'm going to go with the ones that pay the most rent. Boom. Okay. Got it, boss. Our team of construction workers is building out the office space. Let's wait until they are done. Okay. So just click continue. So you can see we've got a little kind of like maintenance crew break room down here. They're the ones in the orange jumpsuits. This guy isn't even doing work. See, he's using... We can click on worksite construction office happiness. I had a good lunch. So why are you not happy? If we hit space, we can pause it, by the way. So this game might be a good time to talk about the game speed. To speed up the game, so you can click on the double arrow button in the lower left corner, or you can also use the number key 2. So there's 2. We can go to 1, and we can hit space to pause it. Very kind of standard controls. It's nice because I've been playing a lot of RimWorld, and it's the same controls there. Great, you're catching it quickly. One more hint: you can also pause and unpause the game. But yes, I know that. Yeah, I need to take a sip of my drink. I apologize. Okay. Now that we fill the space, we should start expanding the building, right, boss? Yeah, sure. It sounds like a good idea. Did I ask for your opinion, though? Because when I do, I'll give it to you. We have to build one more floor space. So, we're going to click on this little crane here. See, that'd be good to have, like, a nice little yellow. The yellow with maybe the, like, the black stripes or, you know, that kind of design. So, you're like, oh, that's the construction colors. Or maybe a nice orange. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to add more floor species. So, this is really cool. When we go into this mode, you can see our little building information panel right now. So it says building width current is 12 tiles, and the max is 100 tiles. So what I'm hovering right now, that's a tile, right? So this white border, you know, shows you. And this is not like the biggest building you can have in the game. That's just for this tutorial. I think you can go up to 60 floors tall. And you can go, I forget how wide. Maybe this might be the widest you can do, but anyways, so you know, pretty simple. And you can see here in the tutorial, at least they're telling us where they want to build this. So I'm just going to click and drag. Now right click to exit, and then of course we need to hook up the utilities. So this office was already prepared for the electrical line. And you can see on each floor, you will get more into this later, but these are like utility closets of sorts. So you build these kind of like a room. And there's electrical line, there's phone line, there's a cable line. There's also other utilities that we'll see later, like gas and water. But to build a new line, we basically just select this dude and drag it across. Boom. Well done. Right click again. Should we add a restaurant? Yeah, man. Let's get some poutine going on. Tenants would appreciate a nice lunch spot. I think that's one of the things the mods can do is like people can build other shops and offices and things that can be put into the game, which is kind of cool. Don't quote me on that, but I was told that when I previously streamed this. So here we go. We're going to click the restaurant space, and just like the office space, there's a vacancy. So we're going to click. And we've got the food courts. We currently don't have cafes. And again, we'll get into this later, but you can see when I hover it, it says prestige needed at least 1 star. So if I look down here, you can see I have 0 stars. So we earn the stars, the prestige, by doing, I guess, different things. So you can see your current 0 level comes from having, you know, 6 population, So if we get to 20 population, we'll get an increase of prestige. If we build artworks, which we'll get into later, we get prestige for that. Having happy tenants, completing special contracts with the city, you get stuff for that. And we lose it from having move-outs and evictions and stuff. So again, you can see more and more the balancing act, right? Anyways, right now we're limited to some food courts, which aren't quite as prestigious and fancy, but it'll get the job done. We've got original Evanston Bagels or Boston Hoagie Shop. Now, these guys, their build cost 125, build cost 125, need electrical line, likes high traffic, so the same thing, but again, these guys pay $10 more per month. So I'm just going to select that. Get your workers to build it. Okay. Building is not very tall, so we're going to add a new floor and then connect up the elevators and the utilities. First click on this, then we're going to add more floor pieces, and we're just going to go up top this time, as you can see. Boom. Now, the cool thing about this game, or maybe not cool, you might find it's limited, but we can't build spaces beyond. We didn't have to build it all the way across, but you can't build it more so. We'd have to build these bottom floors out first if we want to make it wider up top. Yeah, just a little thing to maybe keep in mind, neat little thing. Okay, now, once again, click this. We're going to select the elevator here. There's also stairwells you can see here, but elevators are cool business. And the elevators need to line up, obviously. Well, sort of. We could build an elevator technically you know, I think somewhere else over here. But you need stairs to lead up to it. Or we could have an elevator here, and then have an elevator here, and then continue the elevator line up here, and then stop this one. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Maybe, well, you might want 2 elevator systems if your building's really wide. But anyways, every floor also needs utilities. In order to hook up a new floor, you have to place a utility closet first, and then you can extend power lines across the floor. So that's what I was mentioning earlier about the utility closets. So basically, it's consider it kind of like an elevator. You need them to connect to each other. We could start a utility closet over here, but we need to make sure that all the lines connect to it. But we're gonna go to wiring closet. Just go boom. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and place this stuff now. Alright. I already did it, buddy. All set. Don't forget to right click. Yeah, baby, I'm ahead of you. Well done. Basics of high-rise construction. There's much more to learn, but you'll learn that on the job. Good luck. So this tutorial is over. You can look around, blah, 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 explore. We don't need to do that. We're gonna go. I got an achievement for that, which is weird because I've already done that tutorial before. Huh. Okay, now we're gonna go to Tenants. Let's load this up, and I'm gonna take another sip of my drink. Oh, I hate this lady. I hate this lady. I'm sorry, who did you say you were? I'm just a freaking architect and like the owner of this building. You're fired. Oh, you're the new owner. Please excuse me. No one told me you were here. Good help is hard to find. Oh man. I hope you... Oh, these guys are in sync. They're kind of tweaking out. By the way, I forgot to mention this. I'll probably mention it again at the end of the video. But you can get this game on Steam for Windows or for Mac OS. It's $22 Canadian, so I reckon it's probably around 20 bucks US dollars. You know, something in the spectrum. It's not going to cost more in the Americano dollars. Maybe it's the same amount, but I don't know. Just one moment. I have to finish up this call. As a building supervisor, I have a deal with all kinds of tenant problems. Actually, maybe you can help along the way. Why am I helping you do your job? I hired you to do your job. I can show you how our building operates. All right. So let's see. What's first on the list? Yes, the tenant is rather unhappy. It looks like they need a phone connection in an office. Why didn't you set one up? Let's hook it up before they get upset and move out. And if they move out, we risk losing prestige. So you want to keep the tenants happy. So we're going to click on the utilities. And I like the way they have this system set up here, right? They've got the utilities pane like this, and then they have a tab for each different category. But they're all set up the same way, essentially. There's the phone line, the wiring closet, which is the same as if we accessed it from here, or here. There's a different closet for these guys, but we'll get to that. So we're just going to add a line, and boom. Now, we could have extended it all the way across here, but it does cost money to do that, and if they don't need it, then, you know, why do it? Unless you have a ton of money, and you want to, I guess, more or less future-proof that space. Alright. So we connected the phone line up to the office, but it's not connected to the outside world. We need to have at least one phone switchboard in the building to provide phone service. So, this is where the outside world connection I was talking about. You see these big old tunnels. Utility collectors belong in the basement. The building has plenty of room. Haha, just like your butt. So we're going to add this. We're going to go to phone. And then at the very end here, we've got the phone switchboards. So they vary in sizes. So it's technically, you save money in the long run by building the biggest one. So it adds 150 phone connections to the building. You can see the build cost is $11,500 and the upkeep cost is $1,600. This is just 10 phone connections and the build cost is $3,500. So if we multiplied this by 10, the build cost... Wait a minute. Oh, the upkeep cost would be $350. Multiply it by 10, though, and that's $3,500 per day. Actually, multiply it by 15. It's like around $5,000. So the build cost of this is actually not necessarily any cheaper, but the long-term upkeep cost is way cheaper, and it's just less to manage, right? You don't have to keep adding them. But for our needs right now, we're just gonna add this bad boy. Although if we added this, you can see it's larger as well. And there's the one in the middle, monkey in the middle. But we'll just do that. So you can see the, oops, it's gone now. But you can see the phone connection coming from the outside world. And it's, you know, connected up, and then it's going up here to the actual utility closets. Actually, we've got a utility closet down here too, because, well, we need to, not sure why there's one down here. Unless it's servicing these guys, perhaps. Actually, if we check this, yeah, it is servicing, I don't know. Anyways, that's perfect. The phone switchboard will power up to 10 offices that need a phone connection. Other utilities will need other type of connectors, of course. How is the tenant doing? Much better, it seems. Very well. Let's just see what's next on the list. They still look pretty angry to me. Let's see who else is unhappy in this building. Click on the overlays button in the upper left corner of your screen. So this is really cool. I forgot about this, but you can see, you know, they've got the different maps. So we've got satisfaction. You know, we can click everything off. But there's aesthetics too, which doesn't really matter in this build. There's views, the traffic, so you can see the brighter green is more trafficked, and that's the stairwells and the elevators. And as well, you can see elevators. There's the noise. Obviously, ground floor is quite noisy, and the smells around the food. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad smell, but some places don't want to smell anything, good or bad. As well, we don't have any trash, but that's something we'll get into. And grime, that's just dirt. But anyways, so we're gonna click this guy. No, not the guy, but the business. This tenant needs a bottled water service, which does not exist in our building. The tenants will often demand special services and amenities, especially if they're paying a lot of rent. So we're gonna continue. Let's build this special service they need. Right click to close the tenant info dial. Yes. So we've got a space there already. So this is building services. So you can see it's a separate tab. These other ones are going to open up as we progress in the game. Now, so office service. So you can see the courier service, office supply, bottled water here, which is the one we want. There's quite a few janitorial copy services, computer and IT. So some of these, again, they're not absolutely required, but if you don't have them for a long enough period, then they'll just move out. So it's better to be safe. So there we go. Now that's gonna service those guys. And I imagine anybody else that wants bottled water up to an extent. We might have to build more rooms if we need. So here, the worker is building a new service. Let's take a look at our finances. Click on the cash readout at the bottom. You got it. This is daily cash flow. Rent money comes in every day at midnight, and then expenses and construction costs get subtracted. So this is what we started with at the day. We've got the recurring transactions, so rent revenues, operating costs, one-time transactions. So other revenues and other expenses. So we, you know, the stuff we've been building has been costing us. So there's our current cash. Show summary report every day at midnight. So we can actually toggle that on or off. Of course, we can go in manually and look at that stuff. And you know, if you've ever played any like Sim City or City Skylines, there's just a different rent adjustment depending on the space usage. So you might be like, oh, screw the offices, let's increase that to, you know, up to 200% or even down to 0%. That's a great way if you're like, I really want people to come in and build their offices here. But of course, you're not going to be collecting rent if that's the case. But this is the forecast. So excellent, tenants are plentiful and not as sensitive to rent costs. So that's cool. And then here, run an ADA report on your daily revenues and expenses. I kind of like this kind of skeuomorphic design, but it just gives you a nice breakdown. There's construction costs. That's where our money went there today. And then they've got all these different kind of sub-reports. So you can really look at the utilities and see, oh, you know, cable TV is costing a lot, or electricity is costing a lot. What's our population report? You know, we've got 12 people happy, 1 is unhappy, part of others, I don't know. Just the adults, children, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go through this in detail right now in the tutorials, but eventually when we have a real high rise, it's going to be something we probably want to pay attention to. So anyways, comes from tenants to click on any office or restaurant to find out more. All right, well, let's see you. Wait, what? I guess you're not an office. So the amount of daily rent on the right shows you how much they will pay every day. The amount can be adjusted up or down, which will impact both your bottom line and their happiness. So there's a rental report. Daily rent is $121. They've got 1 employee, and their work hours are 8 o'clock to 4:30. Hoe insurance. You calling me a hoe? They are happy. They are happy. Thanks for your help. I'm glad you stopped by and we're able to talk about the budgets. Make sure you use overlays to inspect the building on a regular basis and click on tenants to find out if they're happy and what they want. So that's this tutorial, and you know what? Let's just be done with it. Let's move on to the next. And I'm going to take another sip of my drink. You again. Alright, hello, welcome back. Tenants seem very happy and they're paying rent on time, which is a great first step. Now that our budget is stable, let's talk about prestige. Prestige worldwide, wide. Prestige is what separates famous buildings from mediocre ones. Most importantly, high prestige will attract high-end tenants who are willing to pay more in rent. So the higher your prestige, the better. Makes sense. You currently have 0 stars, gold stars, prestige points. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, again, it's down here. One way to increase your prestige is to increase your population so that more people know about your building. Makes sense. Word of mouth is still pretty powerful. Let's grow this building to have 20 population, which will increase your prestige. Add 2 more small offices to your building and will continue once they are moved in. So what we need to do is click on this, click on a small office, and I'm probably just going to do... I've got room on this floor. You know what? Screw it. Let's do 1 there and let's do 1 here. So we're going to click this. And it seems that insurance office is the only available. So we got to do both. So I'll just select this one. And then I will select this one. So there's the cost. They're going to get the building. Let's speed it up a bit so we can see our maintenance guys taking the elevator up. Building it. Well done. Look at that prestige counter at the bottom. So we got the 20 population. And we got an added 1 prestige. You can now mouse over it to get more information, and let's continue. So now we'll get an extra prestige once we get our population to 40. And I can't remember kind of the general scale of it. I don't think we'll get another one at 60. Maybe we do, but I think at a certain point it kind of like it gets a little more exponential, if you will. But there's other ways to get prestige other than population, as mentioned, and as you can see there. You can mouse over it. Yeah. As you probably noticed, this also unlocks some new build options in the bottom menu. For example, you can now decorate your hallways with wallpaper and furniture. As you gain prestige, more types of build options will become available, so keep an eye on them. Feel free to explore new build options, and then let's continue when you're ready. So there is art, for instance. So you can do wallpapers, like this is a fun little wallpaper here. You can do different furniture, indoor plants, so you got plants there. You know, this all adds up. There's lighting, there's miscellaneous. I think, where is it? I thought there was like sculptures. Water dispenser. Nah, we'll get sculptures at some point. Maybe it's under... Yes. So medium art, large art, fountains, outdoor art, plazas, small art. You know, there's different sculptures, stuff like that. As well, there's building consultants. We're going to be getting to that shortly. But there's aesthetics, there's politics, and operations. Again, take it one step at a time. Alright. As you notice, this unlocks some new build options in the bottom menu. For example, alright, let's just hit continue. Another way to increase our prestige further is by redecorating and improving our image to the eyes, or in the eyes of the city. Let's get an interior decorator on the case. Click on the consultants button in the bottom. All right, well, I guess we're going to do that right now. So, we need to construct an office for them. So I guess we'll just put you guys right here. Great, now that you have a consultant, they will use some of our influence on upgrading the building. Click on the influence counter at the bottom of the screen. You got it, Tootsie Pop. Some consultants. Place consultant offices to unlock upgrades for your building. Each upgrade costs an increasing number of influence points. So, you can see here the cost in terms of monetary value is free, but it takes 10 influence points. And we need at least one interior decorator to do this. Now this costs another 10, but it needs a consultant upgrade. So first we need to do small artworks before we can get the art dealer. You know, basically each one requires all of the previous stuff to get to. And then we'll have a similar setup for the politics and for the operations. Okay. So now we're going to go here where we were looking at art. And what does she want us to do? Art is not cheap, but I'm sure our tenants will appreciate what we do for them. Now pick one of the small art pieces and place it in your building, for instance, in the lobby. So here's the lobby. Small art. We could do a painting, or we could do, you know, that's kind of cool. Is that George Washington? That looks like, I don't know, like a Wally's nightmare. And that's like some kind of bird. That one's interesting. I don't know what that is. That looks, is that like a naked babe? Naked babe. Sure. 5,000? Wow. Wow. I could have done that for free. Things are just starting to look much better, don't you think? Yes, I do. I don't know if you noticed, but your prestige also increased by 1 point. Oh, heck yeah, it did. Art pieces are one way to boost your building prestige, and prestige unlocks new abilities. Prestige worldwide, wide. To recap, interior decorators are just one type of a consultant. Your influence points come from happy tenants, and then consultants help you spend influence points on various types of building improvements. So it's kind of like a cycle, you know. Smaller improvements help get your tenants happy. When they're happy, you get influence points. Then you can use those influence points to build more stuff that makes them happier, so on and so forth. When you have some time, try building other ones as well. But the tutorial's over, so let's get out of here. So that's prestige. All right, we're getting there. I gotta take another sip of my drink. Hi, boss. There's a maintenance supervisor here. Glad you could come over to this apartment building on such a short notice. What a mess we have on our hands. Looks like the previous manager didn't do any building maintenance here. Every rentable space is dirty. There's water stains everywhere, and tenants are unhappy. I need your permission to fix this. I really like talking like this, by the way. This will cost us a little bit of cash, but we can get this place fixed up in no time. Click on the top floor apartment. This unit looks like it needs some work. Do you see that? I'm sorry. I'm cracking myself up now. But I like that. I'm going to maybe try to come back to that voice. It's good and probably very annoying, and that makes me happy. You see that wrench button in the dialogue? If a unit is run down, you can use it to order in a repair. Click it now. If that's what you want, big boy. Alright, great. Now let's... I want to try to do voice again. Great. Now let's wait for a repair person to come over and fix it. Feel free to speed up the game if you'd like, or we'll continue when they're done. Yeah, look at all these places. They're pretty freaking dirty. One down, a few more to go. Fortunately, we have a lot of cash laying around. So... I can't do it. Acting is too hard. So we can call in a mass renovation of all units. Let me show you how. Yeah, this is kind of cool, actually. Firstly, start by clicking on the maintenance office over here in the basement. Yeah, this guy's not doing any work. Here you can order renovations to multiple tenant units, either narrowed down by type or all units that need work. Click on the highlighted button to renovate all units. So you can see here, just renovate 0 offices is obviously $0. Renovate the 2 restaurants, renovate the retail, none need renovations. There's the 3 apartments, or just do everything. So it's kind of nice if you're like, well, I can't afford to do all of them. To me, the restaurants are more important, or maybe the apartments are more important. But it's a tutorial, so we're going to go all in. Renovations are scheduled. You will see the maintenance crew going to each tenant and doing the repairs. It costs us a pretty penny, but it's much faster than ordering repairs one by one. It's true. It's true. You can watch the crew go around and do the repairs. Yes, yes. So here we go. They're jerking off onto the walls. They're like, but instead of like jerking off, they're jerking in. So they're sucking the dirt off the walls. I don't get it, man. Anyways, let's just hit continue. There's one more thing that the apartments needed, and that is trash bins. Apartments and restaurants tend to produce a lot of trash and recyclables. So this is like a really cool thing too, because it's like a necessary evil. They need the trash bins, but they smell and are kind of unsightly. So certain businesses will not want to be close to them. Whereas others will say like, I expect to have trash collection on this floor. So it really helps you kind of try to balance the layout a little more, right? If you're going to have condos and businesses and retail and all that on the same floor, you can't just kind of willy-nilly put them all about. A resident is going to be a little more accommodating of being near a trash bin than, say, a lawyer's office or law office. Anyways, let's just hit continue here, and then we're going to go to construct. We're going to go to the trash tab, and you can see as well, this is something I don't think we get into in the tutorial, but there's transit to get more people to your building. We've got storerooms for retail stores, so on and so forth. So trash, there is recycling, and there is just straight up trash. So we're going to select this guy. Boom. Well done. Floor is all set. Now repeat this and place the second trash bin right below the first one. There you go. So make our residents much happier. And this one, there's one more step we need to follow. What is it, big boy? Trash bins need to be emptied out to a central collection facility. Let's place one now. Fortunately, we have a lot of room for that in the basement. So we can click on the trash tab, and then over here we've got the trash collection room, and there's a recycling one as well. And yeah, you can see this is a big beefy bad boy. Big beefy bad boy. I'm a very good big beefy bad boy. Great. Once this is built, our maintenance crew will be able to collect trash from each floor and empty it out into the collection room as needed. This place looks much better than it did when we found it, doesn't it? Yeah, we make a good team there. It only goes to show a little bit of repair and maintenance go a very long way to keep tenants happy. It's true. And by having like a clean space, that almost promotes people to kind of defend it and keep it clean themselves. If you go to a very dirty space, that's kind of promoting that the person who owns it or maintains it doesn't really care to keep it clean, so the people that use it are less likely to keep it clean, you know. So it's a very powerful tool. Like I'm talking like real life, but clearly in this game it has a consequence too that keeps your tenants happy. There we go. The tutorial's over. Good. One more to go. User interface. So this is good. Hello again, boss. We meet again. Now that you're familiar with your building, let me introduce you to all the different user interface elements. You can learn them, you can use them to get more information about the building and to manage your business more efficiently. So this is more of like an overview of a lot of the stuff we've already covered, but I think it's going to go through a few more things. Yep, we're ready. So, we'll start with the build menu. You already knew how to build things, but let's look over other buttons in the display. So on the lower left here, we've got the speed controls. We already know that. We already know about cash. Right next to it is a loans button. I forgot about the loans. Again, kind of SimCity, City Skylines, various other simulation games, you know, offer loans. So when you're short of cash, short of dough, this is where you can go to take out a loan. So you can see here, we can have 2 loans at a time, by the way, but there are varying levels of loans. So you got credit card, community bank, commercial bank, private equity, and then annuity fund. So that's a lot of monies. So we're going to close that. Now we've got our prestige counter. Boom. We can't really click it. We can just hover over it. Again, we've already gone over that. Below that, we have our population. Pretty standard. Of course, we've got all the reports so we can look at specifically, you know, how the population is divided. So on and so forth, you know, adults and kids. Next is the buzz counter. So buzz comes from happy visitors, and once you have enough, you can use it to start a media campaign. So this is definitely something we didn't really go over, but it's like something that, well, you can use to get more people, sorry, I'm doing a stretch, to come to your building, which I think is pretty cool. So if we click on this, you can see we have 10 media buzz. Spend the media buzz on a campaign to give your building an additional boost. The effects of a media campaign last 24 hours. So you can see it's kind of divided into different levels. So we've got apartments here. Tony address. Increase satisfaction from all apartment residents. Launch a media campaign that portrays your building as the hippest, chicest address in town. So that's gonna, we can't do this because it actually costs 50 buzz. Direct marketing, gas and cable, construction costs, and daily expenses at minus 50%. Your residents are some of the city's big-time elite, and the utility companies would like more direct access to them for a while. So that's kind of good in terms of like reducing our utility bill, but again, it still costs buzz. Renter roundup, so it reduces the rental construction or apartment construction cost. And empty apartments will be rented much faster. So this is cool. So you can see there's quite a bit of stuff here, and it just really depends on what you're going for. So offices like Happy Drones. Launch a media campaign hyping your building as a premier office spot in the city. Your office workers will feel even better walking through the doors every morning. So increase satisfaction for office workers. So it's a pretty cool way to you know, maybe get the happiness of some residents up too. It's pretty cool. And then we've got the influence. Again, you guys know we spend influence points on this stuff. We'll be looking into the politics and operations consultants in the future. Then we have the variety of buttons for building construction and maintenance. So again, we've got adding more floor pieces. There's the stairs, the elevator, eventually an upgraded elevator that does not need to start on the ground floor. So that's something we'll get to later. And then you've got all the different tabs here for the trash building staff. So we've got a maintenance office, large maintenance office. Expand your construction staff by building this larger office, you know, so on and so forth. Storerooms, transit. Again, this tutorial more goes over the basics, gives us a good foundation. Continue. Then there's the 2 special buttons mentioning in detail. Worth mentioning in detail. First, this button will let us examine which contracts. Yes, I forgot about that. So we can also, similar to loans, have 2 contracts at a time. We currently don't have any. And these are really cool ways of maybe getting money for something you would have done anyways. So this one is, you know, more people needed. And you can see as we hover over it, the city wants more people in this part of town. Increase your building population to 50. So it pays us $500 to $100 up front. And then when we complete it, we get $1,500. In terms of like a reward, overall $2,000 is not a lot. Like we have 203 people, so we're more than doubling the cost to build those floors, build the utilities, build each individual space for them. Dwarfs the $2,000. But I mean, it's something we're gonna be. I guess it depends. It's your high rise, but you're going to be eventually building towards 50 people anyways. So you might want to wait to do this until you're a little bit closer, and you can work on some other contracts you are actually closer to completing. So proof of concept. This one is the city's Department of Planning and Development wants to encourage small landlords to improve their buildings. reach a daily rent revenue of $1,000 to be awarded a neighborhood development grant. So again, we get upfront 500 and we get 500 on completion, and it gives us some buzz. I don't think the last one did, no. So again, we can look and see how much rent we're getting. If we're at like maybe 900 in rent, then that's really only going to require another business or two at most. And then we'll get the money and we'll get the buzz. And as you would expect, they kind of get more intense. These aren't the only contracts. It's just in the tutorial. These are the only ones available. And then, yeah, you can sign a contract. I think you can back out of a contract, but you lose money or something, or it looks bad. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. But so can I have a surprise for you? We are one of the first companies in the business to utilize an electronic data processing machine. The system is called the ADA 360, and it's cutting-edge data tabulation machine. Click on the button, select it. In case you're wondering, that like this kind of takes place in a, I guess, a slightly older era. They're basically like, ooh, this is almost like a computer. Hello, I'm ADA System 360. How can I help you today? Make me a coffee? We splurged and got the high-end model with 8 kilobytes of memory. People say this technology will revolutionize everything. Feel free to run a report or two and then close dialogue. So again, you can see here, we've already gone through this stuff, but there's tenant overview. So we've got 8 offices, 1 restaurant, 1 retail, 0 apartments, 2 services. So if we had a contract that's like have 10 offices, you know, it's not going to take a lot of work to complete that. We just need to make 2 more offices. So, you know, the population, our visitors, we haven't had any in this tutorial, so on and so forth. Pretty cool though. Now in the upper left, we again have all of these different layers. We've already gone through that. Second button shows you utilities. Nice, it shows us all of the utilities. So you can see here, just these are the lines coming into the building. The dotted, it means they don't exist. And then the ones that are glowing are actually in use. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, they didn't have us do the water or gas, but it functions exactly the same as the electrical and phone and cable. And we need to have the separate rooms down there and the utility closets. And the third button shows the construction view of the building. So again, back to this, and we've got the building information, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some big buildings. Finally, the buttons in the lower right corner control the game itself. You can adjust game option, save the game, and exit to the main menu. So there you go, you got all that stuff. I'm not gonna bore you with that. We're gonna hit continue. How about that for a whirlwind tour of the interface? There are a few more elements that we haven't seen, but that's no problem. If you ever need a hint about anything, any interface elements, just hover your mouse over it. And the info box will appear with additional information. I think we're done here. The tutorial is over. You can look around and explore, or click continue to exit the main menu. So, that's it for the tutorial. And I know I said I was going to start a new building, but my throat. That's actually a lot of reading. But again, like I said, that's just because it's the tutorial. So after that, it's basically going to be, you know, we're allowed to go as we please. There are scenarios we can do. I've never done these, but so here you can. So this is an easy one. It's the neighborhood revitalization. The area of town has seen better days, and if those in power have their way, it will see better days again soon. The building was once a jewel in the city's architectural pantheon. Its lobby retains a vestige of those bygone glories with this... Sorry, my eyes are getting all, like, dizzy. Glories with a stunning lobby mural protected... I can't even read right now. By the city's landmark commission. Your task is to revive this building to its former splendor. The Landmark Commission will arrange the subsidies for floor and infrastructure construction. So, you know what? Maybe let's just see if we can do this one quickly. And then in the next episode, I'm going to start my own. I would like to do all these scenarios at some point. But I need a sip of my drink. Okay, so scenario goals. Neighborhood revitalization. Revenue recovery. Neighborhood recovery. New landmarks. Restore this building to solid financial health with daily revenues of $25,000 or more. Wow. That's a lot. Neighborhood recovery. Achieve the city's goal of revitalizing this neighborhood by having a building population of at least 250. Oh, okay, we can't do this right now. This is gonna take longer. It may be easy to do, but it's gonna take a while because we got 38. And new landmark. Add your own contribution to the building. Building's already significant artistic trust with a new fountain, either inside or out. But we'll take a quick look at it. So, okay, you can see the building as it is. We got a lot of empty space in the basement for services. There's empty space here for, tenants are ready to go. They want us to add food. Placing empty restaurant space, cost 0. Right click to exit this mode. Okay, so this little drop down shows us our neighborhood goals. So if we click on money, current cash 15,000, started day cash 5680. So you can see our rent revenue is 1165. Our operating costs are 3510. One-time transaction. So yeah, this is actually going to take a while to get up to 25,000. But you know what? This might be a good way to start the next episode, is to do this, because it gives us a little more direction and kind of a starting point to really feel a little more comfortable with the game. Like I said, I have kind of managed my own Highrise before when I was streaming it, but that was a few weeks ago. So this will be a nice kind of refresher course, if you will. So maybe we'll do that for the next episode, but I'm definitely going to be managing my own as well, because I think that will be fun. But yeah, so this is going to be a cool, we'll see, of course, how long this kind of series, let's go back to the main menu. We'll see how long this goes. Again, it's partially on what you guys think of it and what you want to see. I will say it's going to get more exciting when we actually have our own building and do some wacky stuff and develop the stories. So stay with me for the first few episodes, and then we'll see how we feel after that. But I do like it. I think it's pretty cool. And the idea of just being able to name the tenants and the different businesses and stuff is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But yeah, this kind of game is generally up my alley too. I like these sort of simulation, building management, design games, and I don't want to say I'm good at them, but just because I enjoy them so much and I spend a lot of time with them, I can become halfway decent at them. We'll see. Maybe this is a different case. I don't know, but I'm gonna make an effort. But anyways, if you did like this, or you like this game and you want to see more, please let me know with a thumbs up. That helps. Comments are more than welcome. If you want to just confirm and be like, yeah, I want to see more of this, you can put that in the comments, or maybe give suggestions for whatever. If you know of some cool mods that we should be getting for this game, let me know. And if you're new to the channel, well, welcome to the Fox Den, and don't be afraid to subscribe. It is nice and comfy and cozy in here with all the cuddles we got in the Fox Den. But that's going to do it for this episode of Foxman Plays Project Highrise. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope to see you come back for the next one. Until then, peace out.